everyone and welcome back to a new video. In some of my previous videos I have mentioned that I'm working on a temperature blanket, and today I'm filming the video and you're seeing the video of me actually talking through it. If you don't know what a temperature blanket is, it is a term that is commonly thrown around in the knitting and crochet community, and the idea behind it is that you pick a color scheme that you correlate to temperatures, high to low or low to high, and then you crochet or you knit one row of your project, typically a blanket, every day for a year. Typically a year. Lots of typically. The idea is that you will leave the year with a blanket correlating to the temperatures of the year you're just leaving behind. So you will see by looking at this blanket what temperature it was when, if it was warm, if it was cold, if it was going back and forth a lot. There are different ways of doing these. Some people go by the low temperatures of the day, some do highs, some do average, some do all of them and do a row for each, or do a little granny square with all the colors in, etc. And at the end of the year you should have a blanket. I'm doing my blanket off of the temperature it was at noon that day because that was an easy thing I could go back and find. Finding the average was a bit hard, finding the highs and the lows was a bit hard, but I could time it, and so I picked noon because midday, it's not the warmest time of day, but it's still not the early morning hours cold temperatures. I'm really happy with it. I'm getting a really good spread of colors, as you can see in some of the b-roll as well, and I'm just really happy with it. Now I'm going against the grain a little bit in that I'm not actually making a temperature blanket for the current year. I'm actually making a historical temperature blanket, and I'm also doing it for 2 years. Let me explain. I had the idea for this project back in 2016, so quite a few years ago now, and I bought the yarn, and my idea was that I was going to make a blanket for the first year that I was with my then boyfriend, now husband, and I was going to crochet a blanket. However, like a lot of my hobbies, it was set aside, and it was set aside for many years, and I didn't pick it up until last year, 2021. Now when I picked it up again, I first had to rethink what I was actually doing, and I had to unravel what I'd already done, which was like that much. It was maybe a month because I had changed my idea for what I wanted it to look like. But also I decided that why just make it 1 year, why not make it 2? So the blanket I'm working on now, which is this one, and I'll show you better b-roll of this than this rolled up mess, is actually for 2 years. The first year is the first year we were together, which we got together in July of 2015. It's been a few years now. So end of July 2015 through end of July 2016 is the first year. And then I'm gonna have a bit of an interim. I'm already doing white to indicate the end of a month. And I'm thinking instead of just having one row of white, I will have 2, 3, 5, 10 in the middle of the blanket after the first year before I start the second year. And the second year is going to be our first year as a married couple, and we got married in March 2020. So yeah, right as it all hit, didn't it? But so the second half is going to be from mid-March 2020 through mid-March 2021. Now with this being a historical temperature blanket, I use historical kind of loosely here, but it is still historical because it's not current. I have an advantage because I already know what all the temperatures were, which has made it easy for me to buy my yarn ahead of time. This is a little chart I've made, and everything that's crossed out in green is what I've done so far. This is 2015, 2016, and on the back here I have 2020, 2021. 2020, 2021. Those were a lot of 20s. So I can actually go in and see the temperatures, and I've actually marked it up with colored dots. I don't know how well you can see that. And then corresponding that to this, which is my key, my color key. Now, as you can maybe tell from the key and from this, I have chosen a very bright, colorful, rainbow themed temperature blanket for a number of reasons. Judging by what I'm wearing today on the background, it looks very neutral, but that is not actually how we decorate our home. We have books in rainbow orders, if I get my way. Some of them are by author. We like color, we like brightness, we like a lot of things. And I didn't want to do a neutral one, although that is also an option you have. You could do grayscale, you can do shades of blue, shades of green, shades of whatever color you want, but just keep it in one color family. But I wanted to go big or go home, so I went full on rainbow. It is also really easy to see on this when it was warm and when it was cold, because I followed the very traditional blues and purples are cold and reds and oranges are warm. So it's very, very clear to see. Now, as I was getting started with this when I did my do-over last year, 2021, I measured the width of our bed because I figured it could be a good bedspread. However, not true, because it's going to be way too long, but it was a good size. However, as I'm now working on it, it's huge. I'm going to put the measurements on the screen for you right now, as well as the expected calculated end measurements in both centimeters and inches. It's huge, and it's also getting really heavy, and I'm only 6 months in. 6 months in out of 24. So it's heavy, it's bulky, but I love this project so much, and I guess I just have to build up my arm strength. Now, I can't actually pronounce the brand name of the yarn I'm using, so I'm just going to show this to you and see if you can read that for yourselves. But I'm using this, which is a cotton yarn, and I'm using a 3.5mm hook. I am making this entire blanket in single crochet stitches. I am a novice when it comes to this. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm doing single stitch, and it's really easy. It's the easiest thing I could possibly do. However, it has occurred to me I think I might be doing it wrong. I think you're supposed to go through both of the loops in the V, and I'm just going in the front loop of the V. But that's fine. It looks really good. I'm gonna show you a close-up if I can unravel this a bit to how it looks. So I'm really, really happy with how this looks. This right here is late July 2015, and then I've worked my way through late January 2016. Can you see this? I have no idea what you can see right now. I'm gonna leave a list in the description down below of all the colors I use, from warmest color to coldest color, as well as the white color I'm using in between, in case you want to look up this yarn on your own. Now, I picked the easiest stitch you could possibly make. I picked a bright, colorful color palette to work with, and I picked really easy yarn. Now, when I bought this yarn originally in 2015, 2016, I bought it online. I had never touched this yarn before, but I'm very, very happy with it. It's a cotton yarn, it's very soft, very nice to work with, and it's very easy for me to sit and do this while I watch TV or while I catch up on YouTube, and it's really nice to have that kind of project going again. I used to knit a bit when I was younger. Nothing fancy, but I used to knit, and I've missed having that sort of hobby to do with my hands, and now I've found this and I'm really, really happy with it. I'm gonna say though that if you're planning to make a temperature blanket, I'm gonna just echo everyone else's advice that I see everywhere. Pick a yarn you like, both when it comes to the color scheme, because if you hate the color blue and then you're making an entire blanket in shades of blue, that's gonna be not a lot of fun to look at. But also pick a yarn that is easy to work with, and that you won't stress out about having to sort through and the thread splits into multiple strands and stuff. I know terminology, or not. I do really recommend this project though. There are so many variants you could make. Like I said, you could make rainbow, you could make shades of blue, you could make a grayscale thing, you could do whatever you want. And you can do so many different kinds of stitches. Again, some people do granny squares, I see people do Tunisian crochet. I'm doing the most basic thing you can do, and it's just a lot of fun. And do I wish I was actually doing this live, i.e. do I wish I was doing it for this year? In a way. Like, the reason I'm making it an historical one is because those are 2 years I want to remember the temperatures of, apparently. It's 2 important years, it's 2 important dates in our lives. So that's why I'm doing it. But if I were to make one down the line, I think I would like to make one that was more current. However, I can't fall behind because all these days are already in the past, and that's really nice. Plus, I don't have to worry about tracking the temperatures and recording those. And I can also plan ahead for my yarn usage, how much yarn I need of each color. The yarn I'm using was on sale sometime last year, and I decided to buy a bunch of it, stock up, and so now I have all of it that I need for the first half, the first year, and then down the line I'm gonna have to buy some more for the second half. I think I've used the most of my greens. My jade, my sea green, my moss, and my apple probably are the colors I've used the most, because those have been the most commonly recurring colors, which is not weird because I live somewhere with 4 seasons. I have now done summer through beginning of the winter, or the beginning of the year rather. I've done the first 6 months, July to January, and the mild fall colors are probably going to be really highly occurring in the springtime as well. So I have bought all the yarn I need for the year. I don't remember how much I have of each, but still it was easy for me to plan ahead for that and actually know what yarn I need and not just be like, oh, I think it's, you know, 20% of the days it's gonna be these temperatures and like that and speculate. It was easy to just have the stats straight away. But those are all my ramblings for right now, at least, about my temperature blankets. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've enjoyed seeing my blankets, and I hope you've been inspired to make your own one day. It is a really fun project. It's the only project I'm currently working on when it comes to crochet, and I don't want to change that. I don't want to have more than just one going for right now, but I love it a lot. It's so much fun, and I recommend it. I really do. But thank you so much for watching. I'll be back on Monday with a new video, and I hope to see you then. Bye!